Hi, I guess I'm live. Hello. Am I live? Start. It says stop. Okay, I think I am. Let me get this big picture out of the way for a minute. Okay. I am working on a major revision. Let me say hello here. Hello. It wasn't even scheduled today because I was working so fast and furious. Let me see if I can make him a little smaller on the screen. Good morning, Frank and Jackie. Nice to see you here today. So I was rushing because I realized after really standing back from my Bobcat that I really needed to make the paws bigger. And I went back and measured. And also someone said, aren't those legs a little short? And I was trying to explain I hadn't finished that front end. Look how short that Bobcat's legs look right there. Let me see if I can bring another image in and just show you another quick image of what I'm working on today. Let's see, I can bring it in here. It says image. Okay, take me just a second to get the next image in. This is what I wanted to show you today. Say okay. Wow, this is, I don't know if I can resize this one. Let's see if I can. Oh, good. So now I can show you what I was really finding out, that even though these, there we go, these pictures are pretty good, but wow, you really need to look at some other sources when you start to get into the detail. So I had gone so far and I realized I wasn't happy. Let me make this a lot smaller. Sometimes for the screen, I need to resize these a lot better. Let me show you the back legs and the back paws. Hi, Mark. Good morning. So I basically have been hacking here. When I say hacking, going crazy because I'm trying to do it so fast to try to get the paws bigger. Now I'm going to close up and then I'm going to get my heat gun out and we'll try to refine this a little bit. I wiped out my nice detail over here because I had realized I've got to make some revisions. I hadn't been paying attention to my pictures. And before I get on the close-up, I'll just show you. I went back and, okay, this rough of the front end is very deceptive. When you look at that picture, you think that looks kind of flat. But you look at that picture, and it shows you how far out it comes on the actual animal. So it's really a trick of the eye, and all of this is a trick of the eye, really. So if I go and measure from the what looks like the floor to the elbow, right? Okay, now I'm back. I kind of lost that a little bit because I kept working and I wasn't paying attention and measuring. And then the other part is measure this area here, but that's not the start of the legs, that's fur. So it's really up here. It's really up here. Or the legs will look a little too short. Now I'm going to show you some pictures in a minute. Could even come up a little higher. But then I have my elbow measuring, and I'm pretty much on there. So it's a little tricky right there. Let me show you. Let me take this one picture off and bring that other one up. Look how short this guy's legs might look with that fur, that ruff of fur in the front. And then there's another one too. Let me see if I can bring that other one right in for you to see. This is where it gets actually, I mean, I like to tell everybody this is also easy. This, when you get to, I'm going to contradict myself. When you get to the end of a project, let me get this out of the screen here. Okay. I'm trying to get that off the screen. Cancel. Okay. All right. So now look at the way that ruff comes down and those legs, it makes the legs look very short. Of course, this is a very furry bobcat. Let me make him a little smaller and put him up there. But still, the elbow's way up here. I don't know if you can see my pointer when I'm on the screen, but try to look at the picture and think, well, the elbow's way up here, but that ruff can come down, and it almost makes the legs look too short. And let me take this picture off the screen now, and this one off the screen. And now I'll go to my close-up view. Whoops, wrong view. There we go. All right, so, and I can bring it up even a little closer. So I made the paws a lot bigger, and I've been hacking, so it looks that I took all my detail out. I had done, this is part of the process. When you get to this stage where you start to refine it, you start to realize, oh, this is in the wrong place. That's in the wrong place. And here's another example. This area coming out, I thought is very effective to show the turn of the Bobcat and he's slightly turned. He's more turned in this, but I hadn't really properly positioned this area. Let me go a little bit bigger here. This is the kind of thing you run into when you're at the end. It's kind of like what separates the men from the boys here, so to speak. If you stop being critical and you just kind of hack continually. Let me get a better angle on that for you here. Hold on one second while I get some. So you can see I keep my calipers open, and now I'm getting that rough in the spot where it needs, but now I need to blend it back here. So I've got some hot clay here, and I wiped out all my nice detail here. I'm going to redo it because I have to get this dimension right. I'm not going to be satisfied unless the volumes are correct and in the right places. So now I know I can add a little more right here because of blending it. Let's look at our back view before I go willy-nilly here. And maybe I'll just hold up this cover and show you, so you want to kind of connect that there. And you can because of the front view. It's a puzzle, guys. It really is. When we do the wolf, that's going to be even harder. So stay tuned because I'd love it if somebody would want to follow along. Would you guys please follow along? Because it's a learning experience by doing it better than just listening to it. It really is. You want to try to do it. And of course, you're not going to be happy right off, or maybe you will, but you might not be. Like me, I'm not happy right off. But now I'm starting to create a continuity here. I'm always worried you guys are going to get bored because at this stage is when it really is a little more challenging. It's when you're trying to finish off the detail and keep your volumes. Like with the paws, I stood back and I realized those paws are too small. They're just too small, and it does not look like a bobcat when the paws are too small. So again, I measure, and I have my different views. It's harder to use that view. Let's use this view. Okay, whoops, I want to get it where you can see it. There we go. Okay, and that knuckle, or whatever you'd want to call it, has to be high enough. And as I would work on refining these, I would lose that. So that's kind of a warning about when you start to do refining, you've got to continue to get back to your source material. And if you don't, here, I'm on this camera. Sorry about that. If you don't, you'll lose your dimensions. So actually the length of the leg kind of hooks in up here. And I've got that going now a little better than I did. So we don't want the legs to look too short. They're very lanky. We want the fur to be right. Thank you for saying that, Frank and Jackie. They're interested in the process because this is a huge part of the process where you get so far and you start doing the refining and you stand back and you go, wait a minute, something's not right. And even this severe looking line here, that's not going to be right. In the finished view, you want to have, you want to break it up and maybe even make some of that level that you see there there's more shown in this than in this, because this cat's head is turned a little more. So you need to go back and forth. And at some point, and believe me, it will happen, you'll stand back and you'll go, okay, that looks right. That really looks right. And then you can go back and check it. A lot of times we dread checking it because it's going to correct something we've done. And we're like, no. But I'll tell you what, the great thing is you can correct this kind of clay. You can make changes in this. If you did this in water-based clay and you were like, oh, I want to make this change. Once it gets leather hard, that's the term they use for water-based clay, or the kind of clay you would use to do the oven baked clay. I don't know if you can add to that or not, but once you get to that stage, it's really hard to make corrections. But with this modeling clay, it's not too hard. Now I'm putting on some hot clay to places I'm not really paying attention. So let's get back and be disciplined. It's a matter of discipline, right, guys? It really is, because you get lazy. You go, oh, it looks okay. I look at the difference between sculptors who feel like, oh, that looks fine, don't worry about it, and the people who really pay attention and measure. There's a massive difference, and I believe it boils down to discipline, because these things are full of optical illusions, all of them. And if you can just discipline your mind to continually critique and not be afraid to say, okay, I've got to pull that apart and do it again. And, you would be amazed at how much progress you can make over time. It will not happen in a day, because what often happens is it takes coming back to it a day later, and you look and go, something's really wrong. Now, if you can't tell what's wrong, just start measuring your source material, because that will show you right away. Like when I had these feet partially done, that looks like kind of flat and small a little bit, but once you start to measure it, you can see it needed to be that high. It needed to get higher right there. And so, you get resistant, you get belligerent. Oh, it's fine. I'm not going to do anymore. But it really, this is a great part of the process. That's our next project. So let me just show you that. That's going to be really hard. I just want to let you know ahead of time, but it's worth doing, because you will learn so much in the process. Let me go back to my main view. And it's very, very rewarding when you go to the trouble, when you really make an effort and go to the trouble. You'll, I think, be very satisfied with what you've done. So on our next project, and I'll try to really detail it up good. It's going to take a few days for me to try to find different angles of that wolf posture that makes sense all the way around, as if we saw a wolf standing like that in 3 dimensions. But once we have it, we'll still look at other images and videos and get as close as we can. And that's all we need to do. But anyway, I hope you have some questions. And does anybody have a suggestion maybe for something? If the wolf is too daunting, is there something else you'd like to try where I can make you a guide and we can all do together? Because I would really enjoy being able to see what you're working on. And, maybe because this is all a learning experience, we should approach it like, okay, nobody has to be perfect. I would like to teach this more than be good at it. I want to be able to get you to do it. And because it's a lifelong satisfying thing to do. You run into issues where it's frustrating, but if you're not in a big darn hurry to get it out the door like I used to be, it's like transformative and leaves a really cool legacy for your family. You don't have to worry about selling it. All right, so it's 8:15 and I'll go and say goodbye, but I'll see you on Friday morning, and hopefully I'll have something new to show and talk about. I know I will, because there's always something. So thank you ever so much. And I will see you all later. Bye.